Hi there YouTube. Now this is, I need a special effect of a car crashing down the hillside and stones and all kinds of things hitting it. And I don't have one, so I'm going to make one. It involves recording sounds and then putting them in layers to create the overall sound effect, which I will give you later on in a download link. So the sounds will be pretty much like this, but they'll intensify. So I'm using a little Sony microphone that gives me some quite good close-up sound, hopefully to eliminate the background. There's a little bit of traffic noise, but I can hopefully filter that. So off I go. I hope you enjoy it. So I did about 5 minutes of recording, and I didn't want to show you all that because it gets a bit boring. So I've now got the sound. This is the sound I recorded. I'll just play you a bit. So that's sounding a bit thin, and obviously there's loads of gaps in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this sound and I'm going to go through and cut all the gaps out. So all that will involve is putting markers in and removing the gaps. So here we go, here's one. Going through, cutting the gaps out now. So I've now joined all these sounds up into one string, and I've re-imported it as one piece, so there's no edit marks in it. So I'll just play you some. So that's, to me, is sounding a bit thin. So I'm going to do something called layering, which is we're going to take this sound effect and we're going to add 2 more to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this one in the center, but I'm going to take some of the high frequencies off because it's sounding a bit tinny. So I'm going to use EQ to take off the some high frequencies. I'll just try that and see what that sounds like. So that's taken away a lot of the tin, because the effect I want is you're inside the car and you're hearing all the stones hitting it as you fly down the hillside. So this is with the untreated, and this is with the EQ in, taking the high frequencies off. As I say, I'm going to build this up in 3 ways. I'm keeping this one in the center. This one's had some of the high frequencies removed, so it sounds a bit more thuddy. Then to the left hand side, I'm going to have the same sound effect set back a little bit, and then to the right hand side, same sound effect set back a little bit. So I'll be using later on parts of the sound effect, so it's not going to repeat the same sound. So I moved further down the sound effect because I know it's not the same as this bit, and I'm going to move it onto another track and push it up here. Now, as I say, this one's going to be set slightly to this side, and I'll now play it just to see how it's sounding. I'll have to bring the volume down a little bit on that one, and you will notice that as you begin to layer sound effects, the volume will increase because you're adding more and more sounds to it. So one good tip is when you start, move all the sound levels down by about 3 dB. So I'll play this now, see how it's sounding. I could probably do with taking some of the high frequencies off this one too. So I'll bring in the EQ and I'll just take off some of the high frequencies. That is with 2 sounds. I'm now going to add a third. Chop that about there. Bring that in. This one's going to be set slightly more to that side. I'm not moving it 100% to the left and right. I'm moving it probably about 75% because I don't want the sound to be too direct on one side. I want it to be a little bit placed in. Again, I'm going to take a little bit of high frequency off because it's sounding a bit too tinny. Remember, we're supposed to be inside the car, so I'll just take a tiny bit of that off. I'm doing this very quickly. You can spend a lot more time on this, but the whole point of this was to show you about building up sound effects to create the sound effect you want. So let's see how it's sounding. We now have 3 lots of that sound effect, all layered together to create one full sound. I'll now play it to you and let you see if you think it works. Well, I hope you found that useful, and you have a play with sound layering. It can be quite useful. You can create some really good sounds, and also they become your unique mix, and you can copyright that. So until next time, bye.